Greetings, folks. Welcome back to another video. We are out here on a freaking tiny quarry lake in the middle of nowhere in southeast Minnesota, and this place is loaded with bass, folks. I mean, it is unbelievable. I was out here a couple months ago with a rat lure. I'll leave a link in my description if you guys want to see that video. But I was out here with that rat lure, folks, and I'm not kidding. Every single cast, I'll either get in a fish or get in a bite. So I decided to come back out here with the new baits. I got my paddle board. I have a milk crate. I'm gonna put my tackle in, and we're gonna scour this lake again, see what's fishable, what's not, and in a second, I'm gonna show you guys what we're gonna start off for a bait choice. But first, I gotta air this bad boy up, get my tackle ready, and I'll catch you guys in just a second. Well, folks, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It is not looking too good out here. If we see any lightning while we're fishing, we're gonna have to pick it up and go home because I don't want to be out here if it's lightning out. But we got some rain coming in. It stopped briefly for just about a second or two, but it's probably gonna come back. It's supposed to rain, I think, for the next couple of hours. But I want to show you guys what I have for my combo. So combo number one, I'm gonna do a tried and true frog, just because this place is grassy. It's just a booyah popping frog. There's a little bit of a popping look to it there. It actually adds a lot of water displacement as you're going through the water. And the main attraction for the day, folks, we're gonna be throwing the old Berkley Nessie 7. It's a 7-inch bait, soft plastic glide action bait. There's one slit right in the middle of the bait there. It looks like it's almost been cut and then stitched back up together, which is kind of interesting. We'll see how long that lasts before it fails. But otherwise, you got a treble hook on the bottom, connected via the hardware down on the bottom side there. Just kind of connects into that little hook socket there. Just kind of hangs out like that. Hard plastic fins on it, which I think are really going to help it kind of glide through the water. You don't want that to be soft plastic, otherwise it could be really hard to kind of move it through as you're retrieving it. But this thing is freaking awesome. I've used it a few times here and there, but I've never really actually taken it out and just played around with it and really tried to capture the full extent of what this thing can do. But I'm excited, folks. The weather is not in our favor, but the water is always in our favor. Without further ado, folks, let's hop on the old paddle board and let's get out there and see if we can find some fish. Let's go. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, we got the Nessie tied on. We'll start off with this guy, and on the other combo we have a frog, so we'll be able to kind of bounce around and see what works, see what doesn't work. I'm just hoping for something. It is a crappy day out. The wind is windy, the rain is rainy, and it is a fish. Look at that first cast, folks. Are you kidding me? Oh, no, Nessie. Boom, shakalaka. I like to see that. Cool. This is gonna be a tricky day, folks. A light paddle board, wind. Woo, not a very good combo, I'll tell you what. That's all right, we'll make it work. We'll just paddle around and keep on paddling and paddling some more. But that's one down on the old Nessie. Let's see if we can get a few more out of here. But very, very mossy. Every corner of this little lake here is mossed over. So we don't have a lot of real estate to throw this guy around today, but that's all right. That's why we brought the frog. Oh, well, that was a fish. But that's why we brought the frog too. So once we get into a little spot where we can't really do a whole lot. There's one. Hey, bud. Fish number two on the old Nessie. I really like this bait because you can kind of move it however you want. If you want to just straight retrieve it, it's got a sweet tail action. Swims just like a bait fish, but this is how I like to do it, but you can also glide it. So either I'll use my reel and just give it a reel, stop, reel, stop, or you can even use your rod tip and kind of work it like almost like a jerk bait, honestly. And to be honest, what you're getting for the price, a pretty dang good freaking deal, man. Kind of gets into that soft plastic glide bait world without spending an arm and a leg to get into it. Some of these brands, man, they charge so much money for a freaking bait, and you know, sometimes rightfully so. The quality, craftsmanship, some of these places, man, they do it right, but you don't really have to spend that much money to have some fun. Let's try the old frog. This looks pretty good back here. Yep. Oh. That's a big, oh my gosh. They keep missing it. Oh man, that was a giant. Got him. Got him. Get out of the grass, bud. Woo-wee. Alright, so they're biting the frog too then, eh? Not too big, not too small. Awesome. Oh, look at that. Oh, I was hung up on some grass or something. Oh, dude. Oh, what a freaking toad. That is a nice fish. Oh, man. I was stuck in some grass and that guy just did not care. Said one way or another, I'm getting this freaking meal, man. I think the smaller ones are nipping at it and the bigger ones are just taking a freaking bite out of it. I can see a couple of them here and there and the smaller ones will come up and look at it. I don't think they're willing to really take that big risk and try to bite a 7-inch bait, you know? But meanwhile, these bigger ones, they don't seem to care at all. There's something to be said about baits too that are very, very minimal maintenance when it comes to actually having to work the action. You know, for myself, I don't want to have to think about it. I want to be able to throw a bait and just kind of maneuver it how I want and catch fish. And this is one of those baits where it's super realistic. It looks like it could get bit and you just toss it out and you swim it back. That's what I love. So you're getting that realistic presentation, a crazy look, but at the same time, you're not having to do a lot of work. Sometimes with these baits, you gotta work them so specific to get that proper action. But this little Nessie doesn't really care what you do. It's gonna move one way or another. It's just really how you want it to move. Oh my gosh. Not very big, but man, they fight so hard. Awesome. Don't know what number that is, but one thing is for certain, that Nessie is getting it done. All right, I gotta get out of this freaking wind, man. It's kind of a steep bank over there. We'll see if maybe the wind eases up in that corner. We can just toss some stuff around either the Nessie or the frog. But it's almost impossible to fish in this wind with this little inflatable paddleboard. Make some casts up in this grass here, up in this cove. Let's just see if they want to bite this guy on this side. Gotta be something. Yep. Oh, that could have been a lot worse. The little popper part of the frog does a really good job of kicking water up with barely any movement. I do like that quite a bit. You don't have to break your arms and wrists trying to jig your rod to get that frog to make some action. Don't you come off, bud. Yeah, he's off. Oh man, my frog hookup ratio today is just embarrassing. Just embarrassing. Oh my gosh. They look like freaking Free Willy coming out of that water. Woo! That is awesome. Got him. Oh my gosh. I even bent out the hooks a little bit more to improve the hookup ratio, and it's still not working. Brutal. Not even sure how many decent fish I've lost so far. Got him. There he is. Not a bad size. I have to say that treble hook is doing a really good job of keeping these fish pinned. You know, even these smaller ones, when they swipe at it, they're still getting hooked. Sometimes with these swim baits, it's hard to get a good, accurate hook set on these smaller fish, but folks, I will tell you what, that is a freaking sweet little lake. We didn't do as good as I thought we would. However, knowing that we were fishing basically in front conditions with that storm coming through basically the whole time we were out there, we didn't do too freaking shabby, I'll tell you what. But I decided to stop at the gas station here after the old fishing session and grab some Liquid Death sparkling water, which is freaking tasty. But let's talk about today. Paddleboard, wind, not a good combo. That's number one. That's what we're gonna start this off with. That combo is not good. I don't recommend going out into the middle of a lake when it's bad wind, because you will get pushed around like nobody's freaking business, man. Brutal, brutal, brutal. That's number one. Number two, the freaking Berkley Nessie is a hot commodity. This thing is freaking sweet. You know, we got a few bass on it today, and I have to say it looks basically brand new. There's really no wear and tear on that thing anywhere at all, which is pretty impressive. Those bass were pretty aggressive. I thought for sure, I'll be honest with you guys, I thought the main issue with this bait was going to be the centerpiece. It's almost kind of stitched in like that together. It just looks like a weak spot, and maybe it is if you catch more fish on it, but you know, so far so good. Not a whole lot of issues with it. But I have to say, major shout out to Berkley. I don't typically use Berkley stuff. Historically, I've just never really been a big Berkley guy. But this right here, I have to say, wins in my book, because you're getting a soft plastic bait, you're getting a jerk bait slash glide bait slash swim baits in one, and if it's as tough as I think it may be, you're going to be able to get probably 5, 6, 10, I don't even know how many fish you could probably get off of one of these. And then you factor in the price and how cheap these are, and cheap is relative to each person. I guess it's perspective. To me, a swim bait that's maybe 15 bucks and under, that's a good deal in my opinion. That's below a mega bass jerkbait. You know, that's 15 and under is a pretty good number, and these fall in that category. So really, for what you're getting out of the box, just tie it on and start throwing. I really have no complaints about this. Kudos to Berkley for making something that's affordable and still pretty fun to throw and catch fish on. It's a cool little bait, man. I got nothing bad to say about it. As for the second bait, the old poppin' frog, you really can't go wrong with the frog this time of year. The dog days of summer. Throw it up along the bank, work it back, a little bit of grass, a little bit of weeds, and most likely you're gonna get freaking smashed. And it was no exception today. We couldn't hook as many as we wanted to, but boy oh boy were they freaking aggressive for the frog. But I won't keep you guys any longer. I just want to say I love y'all. I appreciate the support, really truly. You guys are freaking awesome, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace!